What killing, not death due to natural disaster or surprise act or accident, but what killing, what any manner of killing or attempted killing or violence gets a united front response from Americans today? Is there anything that could get us a united front? I want us to think about this. Is there anything? So you take, for example, Gaza. That's not united. Far be it from it. A potential assassination attempt, Black Death, a hashtag. Is there any killing now today in this current climate that will get us? I mean, maybe a child or a minor, as long as they're not black,
Didn't work
right?
in Uvalde, didn't even work in Sandy Hook.
Didn't even work in Sandy Hook. So this is what I'm saying. We are at a, I want people to think about the soul of a nation. And when we think about this, oftentimes we think about the policies of a nation. We think about the moral compass of a nation. We think about the ways in which a nation treats those around it. All that is legit. Think about the soul of this nation and how, in a short period of time, let's say potentially from 2001 um, to 2024, how the calculus has shifted so much that there is no room for unity around any attempted murder, violence, killing, because January 6th wasn't even that.
Right.
Like, there are people who
Right.
just literally shrugged, and I've said it multiple times on this podcast, acted as though January 6th did not happen. Like, we literally, in the collective Christian consciousness, have expunged it from memory. There is very little white evangelical response theologically to January 6th, an attempted coup. Like, what are we
Yeah.
talking
What
about?
would
Where
do it?
where
Yeah.
actual Congress people not only could have been kidnapped, but mortally wounded, killed, assassinated. A gallows was put up for the vice president at the time. I mean, I just want us to think here. What is wrong with the soul of this nation? To
Yeah.
where we cannot even come to, and I'm this is less about what happened recently with this assassination attempt and more about our outlook on violence in general. We are desensitized to it. We are totally fine with it. It doesn't bother us. It doesn't upset anything. It doesn't uproot anything. And I'm trying to figure out, what does that say about our souls? And what does that say
hmm
about the moral condition and fabric of this nation?
That's the critical question, isn't it? And how do we, or is it even possible to pull back and to come back to a moral heart, if you will, some sort of shared morality, if not even the common good, right? Because we still disagree about what that looks like. But can we have a shared sense of grief, even, right? When you ask that question, what killing would unite people? There's, I think, actually two parts to that. One is who whose death, whose loss might actually unite people, unjust, right?
Mm-hmm,
Um,
mm-hmm.
and then the other part, because I think there might possibly be some folks whose death could unite us in grief, as morbid as that sounds.
Oh, without a doubt,
Um,
without a doubt. No, no, that
um,
I agree with. Absolutely.
yeah. And honestly, though, that's actually, I think those people likely to start are entertainers of some sort, whether actors or sports stars, what have you. It would likely not be a politician or any
Right.
sort of public servant kind of a person.
Yeah.
So there's that part, who gets killed. The other part is who did the killing. Because in this one, we've been so conditioned to say, because of the mass shootings, because of the racist shootings, we've been so conditioned to say, okay, who was the killer and what were their motives? That was the immediate question. I mean, that's a natural reflex and reaction. You want to know who did it and why. But it was also who did it and why, so that I know where they stood.
Come
I
on.
know their
Come on.
ideology. We wanted to know not just who killed, who attempted to shoot the presidential candidate and why, Was he a Republican or a Democrat? Was he white? Was he black? Was he this? Was he that? Why? So that we could apportion what we think is the appropriate amount of sympathy, grief, outrage, etc. And that says something about the soul of our
Yeah.
nation.